traditionally think he's sitting on it. Get tricked by him. Just watching the ball land and travel so deeply. That's part of his style.
In this lineup, how would you rank the level of uncomfortable at bats? Who's the most difficult guy you think to deal with in this great lineup?
Certainly starts right with Mookie at the top. Especially how we had noted.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, preaching this word, truth, and sincerity. Shalom to Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word, truth, and sincerity. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the spectrum word, preaching the word, truth, and sincerity. I'll say shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is another sit-down lesson to the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of the Yahweh Shai on this September the 18th, 2022 at 9:13 p.m. Central Standard Time on this Sunday night. And as you've seen right there of that, say about 10 to 15 second clip right there, you know, another strong earthquake hit Taiwan. And this was a 6.8 because I did a video earlier in regards to this, but I couldn't determine what was the magnitude of the earthquake. Now this is another update, so I guess the information must have came in a couple of hours later. And as you see right here, this is a news article from the New York Post.com, and it's by Reuters, and on September 18, 2022 at 4:27 p.m. and it's last updated. And the highlight of this news article, and it read for the New York Post, and it says a 6.8 magnitude earthquake traps hundreds in Taiwan. And it says a magnitude of a 6.8 earthquake hits the sparsely populated southeastern part of Taiwan on Sunday. The island's weather bureau said derailing train carnage. Right, I seen that train. A train got flipped over as well too. When I was scrolling through the news articles, I say about a couple minutes ago, or an hour ago, I believe, of a strong earthquake. But continue on with the radio, causing a convenience store to collapse and trapping hundreds on mountain roads. The Weather Bureau said the epicenter of the Taitung County and followed a 6.4 magnitude trembling on Saturday evening in the same area, with caused no casualties. And it says the U.S. Geological measured the Sundays, right, because they got hit with a 6.4 on Saturday. Now Sunday, now it's saying according to the U.S. Geological Survey, Sunday's quake at a magnitude of 7.2 and a depth of 6 miles. Taiwan's fire department said all 4 people were rescued from a building housing convenience store that collapsed in Yuli, while 3 people who were vehicle fell off a damaged bridge were rescued and taken to the hospital. Slovakia. It says the train railways administration said 6 carnage came off the rails at Donglei Station in East Taiwan as part of the platform canal collapse, but the first department says were no injuries. More than 600 people are trapped on the Skinley Hill of the Lens Mountain areas. By blocked roads, though were no injuries and rescues were working to reopen the roads, the department says. The U.S. Pacific Tsunami Warning Center issued a warning for Taiwan after the tremor, but later lifted the alert. Japan's weather agencies lifted a tsunami warning parts of Okinawa Prefecture. It says the earthquake could felt across Taiwan. The Weather Bureau said buildings shook briefly in the capital of Taipei, and aftershocks have continued to join the island. Signs parts of the southern city of Tianjin of Kaohsiung, home to majority semiconductor factories, said there were no impact or operations. Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company, the world's largest contact chip maker, said there were none known significant impacts for now. The Taiwan lies near the joint of two tectonic plates is prone to earthquakes. More than 100 people were killed in an earthquake in southern Taiwan in 2016, while a 7.3 magnitude killed more than 2,000 people back in 1999. So yeah, these as I mentioned before, earthquakes in diverse places definitely increasing.
That's the ultimate question going right now. Is Aaron Judge now is in the driver's seat? Tremendous leverage on his side after the year that he's had. And secondly, I think if you're arguing about a long-term contract and a guy on the wrong side of 30 or towards the tail end of the contract, how will it age? Factor in the athleticism there.
This is Red Letter Yahweh speaking. Luke 21:11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sightings, and great signs shall there be from heaven. Right, because we're seeing these great signs of these weather events taking place on the planet Earth. Last week, almost close to a week now, over there in Papua New Guinea, they got rocked with a 7.3 earthquake. In a week, a couple of days before that, it was like a 5.4, 5.7, and all the way into 6.1 magnitude earthquake hit at the same locations in different hours over there in Indonesia, And then you had that, I think it was like another earthquake. It was like a 6.2, I believe. Over there in, it was like a province of China somewhere. The whole streets been shaking, the whole streets been cracked open, So, hey, these earthquakes can cause some significant damage, So, as the scriptures has stated, as Yahweh Bashem has stated, these things was going to take place on the planet Earth, especially with the increase of these earthquakes, because you're going to continue to see more and more earthquakes in diverse places. You're going to continue to see these tsunamis and earthquakes and hurricanes and landslides and mudslides, these heavy rains, these heavy storms, all these things, these heavy droughts, volcano erupts, lightning and storms, etc. So these things are going to continue to increase more and more, And I'm going to bring out Isaiah 29:6. And this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, and verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and with great noise and with storms and tempests and the flames of devouring fire, right? Like the volcano erupts, heavy droughts, heavy storms, dust storms, large hails, large raining, record-breaking floodings in diverse places, high increase of magnitude damages of earthquakes can cause some extremely significant damages around the world. These are tsunamis, tornadoes, earthquakes, storms, hailstorms, heavy droughts, heavy heating, heavy wildfires, volcano erupts. So all these things is definitely going to increase more and more and more, you know. And sorry, I spelled the word hurricane warning in Puerto Rico. Salaki, if I ain't spelled Puerto Rico right. Salaki. Right, this hurricane warning over there in Puerto Rico is Hurricane Fina, I believe. And this news article I'm about to bring out in regards to the weather over there in Puerto Rico, and a highlight of this news article, and it reads from Exis.com, and it's published by Andrew Freeman, author of Exis Generated, and it was updated 2 hours ago of Energy and Environment. And a highlight of this news article, and it reads, Hurricane Fina brings catastrophic floodings and power outages to Puerto Rico. So as you see this geographic right here, it says the Hurricane Fina captures the satellite as the eye of the Category 1 storm approaches Puerto Rico on September 18th. But why is it, they got the date wrong. Why does it say 2002? It's only supposed to say 2022. But I digress. Continue on with the reading. An intensifying Hurricane Fina is bringing heavy rains, high winds, and power outages to Puerto Rico. The power has been knocked out to the entire island. The latest center of Fina was heading for the Eastern Dominican Republic on Sunday evening, but heavy rainfalls, catastrophic floodings continues to pummel much of Puerto Rico, according to the National Hurricane Center tweeted. The big picture: the storm is dumping more than two feet of rain Puerto Rico and causing catastrophic floodings, and National Hurricane Center warns a hurricane force winds have taken out the island's fragile power grid. Fina made landfall in Punta Torocan on the island of southeastern coast, if I pronounce those names right, Salakia, coast of around by 3:20 p.m. local time, with the maximum sustaining winds of 85 miles per hour, the NHC tweet. The storm has seen winds about 15 miles since the NHC updated on then tropical storm Fiona at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Zone in the Fina is a Category 1 hurricane, is expected to remain so through landfall in Puerto Rico. punts on the south side of the island has sustained about 69 miles per hour with a maximum wind gust of 103 miles per hour over hurricane center. President Biden has declared a federal disaster for Puerto Rico, mobilizing the delivery of the aid to the island.
Squared again, and boy, John Peterson is gone, and that's confusing.
It says the threat level was likely to bring torrential rains to Puerto Rico through Monday in a widespread area to 12 to 8 inches of rain. Expected higher amounts will fall in some locations. Wow, that's a lot of rain. It says particularly in higher elevations where up to 30 inches could fall in a short period of time. These rains will produce life-threatening and catastrophic flash floods and urban flooding across Puerto Rico and the eastern Dominican Republic, along with the mudslides, landslides in the areas of higher terrain. The Hurricane Center warned as of 2 p.m. Sunday. Nearly the entire island was under a flash flood warning as of 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, heavy rains and hurricane force winds were expected in eastern areas of Dominican Republic on Sunday night and Monday. Puerto Rico power grid, which was severely damaged during the Hurricane Maria in 2017, has filtered with nearly 1.5 million customers without power as of 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, according to the powerhouse. As Puerto Rico governor was briefed the island ahead of Fiona's impact, the lights went out. The governor has already said that Luma Energy, the private company in charge of the transmission and distribution of electricity on the island, is on a probation with him. What they are saying, the damages that we are seeing is catastrophic, Puerto Rico Governor Pedro Pelicer said. What we are watching, the test for utility operators will now be how quickly they can restore power once the storm passes. It says, of note, NOAA scientists managed a remotely operated sail drone into the eye of a hurricane Fina, which helps validate the intensity estimate. The storm surge flooding of 1 to 3 feet above normal dry land is expected along the shores of Puerto Rico on Saturday, which was yesterday, provided the peak surge hits a high tide. The Northwest and San Juan was issued flash flood warnings throughout Sunday as the rains caused rivers and streams to rise. Video from social media shows the terrains of water washing away bridges, power lines, and other infrastructure in southwestern Puerto Rico. The storm previously caused damage floodings after dumping nearly 20 inches of rain on the French island of Guadeloupe late last week. Fina is expected to continue to intensify once it moves northwest of Puerto Rico in the north of the Dominican Republic. The storm is expected to turn slowly to the north, but midweek it moves near or over the Turk and Falkland Islands. It is expected that the storm will become the season's first major Atlantic hurricane of the season, as Category 3 intensity of greater by midweek. Most computer models now take the storm out to sea well east of the mainland U.S., but it could be a threat to Bermuda late in the week. So yeah, as I read that long news article in regards to that weather of Hurricane Fina brings catastrophic floodings and power outages in Puerto Rico. So, as I stated before, brung out Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord with hosts, with thunders and with earthquakes and storms and tempests of flaming and fiery fire. Because we're seeing these high record increase of storms, heavy floodings, record-breaking heavy floods, these increasing tornadoes, tsunamis, and these different categories of these storms. So, hey, Yahweh Shemal Shah is definitely visiting this earth, which he made. And these things going to continue to happen, especially we are entering in the stage of a hurricane season, as these hurricanes go across these different islands and throughout the whole world, We're going to continually see heavy floodings, heavy storms, heavy tsunamis, hurricane tornadoes, earthquakes in diverse places, landslide, mudslides, heavy storms, thunderstorms can cause significant damage. And these things are going to continue to increase and take place because Yahweh Shemal Shah, the Lord of hosts, is visiting this world which he made. And he's going to continue to do these things on the planet Earth now. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of the Yahweh Shah. And first and foremost, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Bakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom in a ball.